Hi all, my name is Ned Charles. I'm a Microsoft MVP, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build this donut chart right here. Now, whether or not you actually love the way that donut chart looks, you should continue watching because we're going to be doing a lot of hacking of the native Power BI donut chart visual in order to produce something new and unique. And when you do hacking or, kind of manipulating of visuals like this through code, you learn a lot about how Microsoft Power BI works. With that out of the way, if you could do me a favor before we jump in, if you could go on over and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, it would mean a lot as it really helps the channel grow. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump into the computer and let's take a look at how this donut chart works. Okay, so first things first, I'm in the new August 2026 version of Microsoft Power BI. And this is really important because not only does this version have the actual new donut chart in it, it also has some really cool and unique features for working with Power BI project files, in particular Power BI project files in the Power BI enhanced report format, which we're going to be using. And I'll cover why that's important a little later on in the video. But for now, let's just build a new donut chart. So I'm going to delete this visual. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And then I'm going to create a new donut chart by clicking this button right here and then going on over and bringing in category and then probably sales here into the values. And as you can see, right, here is the standard donut chart that you would get out of the box. Now, because this is the new August 2026 version, I also have the ability to customize the center value. Now, I can customize this center value with some text from the data model, but I can also customize it with an image, which can be browsed from the computer, or a background, which again can be uploaded from the computer. So for example, if I were to choose this background and then choose this image right here, right, I could set an image as the background of this donut chart. Now, this is great and allows for you to do some really cool customizations, but if you've been following any kind of custom visuals in the Microsoft Power BI world, you would know that the thing that's all the rage is creating dynamic SVG images that respond to data. And I've gone ahead and I've created one of those over here in DAX. So here you can see, right, there's kind of this dynamic visual. So let's take a look as to what this looks like if we were to go on over here and we were to go over back into this add data to your visual section and add in an image, and then go down here and go down to image and then go select from data and drag over this SVG image URL. As you can see, it's I get this, pretty unique kind of setup here with this like chart right here. Now, this is what I want to put in the center of this donut. So how can I do that? Well, that's where Power BI project files and the new Power BI enhanced report format comes into play. And that's because you can use this format to edit the actual JSON that makes up how these visuals display. And if you understand how that JSON works, you'll realize that you can conditionally set pretty much anything in a visual as long as the data that you're using to connect, kind of set with is actually being rendered or brought into the visual itself. This is kind of the same concept behind visual calculations. So what that means is that if I go over and then I go over here and I click this donut right here and then drag this SVG into the tooltips section, right? And then hit this save button, every single time something happens with this donut chart right here, that means that, well, or I guess it's querying, right, this placeholder SVG value. So now let's see what this looks like if we go into the PBIP file. So here I am in VS Code, and I've opened up, if let me just collapse this down, I've opened up the VS Code, the video demo report, and then I also have the semantic model. And I've created this by just going into Power BI, going over here, file, save as, browse this device, right? And then saving it as a PBIP, in which case it then generates this report folder and then this semantic model folder. Now, in the report folder, you will then have a definitions folder. And then in this definitions folder, you'll have a page folder with a GUID. And if you have multiple numbers, you can turn on in the settings this copy object name setting, in which case if you hit this copy, it'll show you what the object is. But in this case, this isn't this complex of a report, so we should be able to guess. And then if we go into the pages, we'll then have a folder for all of the visuals on the pages. And then in each one of these folders, we will have a visual.json. So let's open each one of these up. And as you can see, we now have two visuals. So we have this one right here, which is our donut chart. And then we have this one right here, which is our image. Now I'm going to go back over here into this donut chart right here, go into formatting settings, and then in this center folder, turning on the background and then selecting an SVG, just so we can take a look at the JSON code behind this and what it kind of looks like. So I just hit the save button, which means that if we now go back over here, we can see that in the visual folder right here, where we're referencing an image, we are on the source field defining it as expression, measure, expression, source ref, and then like kind of the entity, right? Which this is the table and the property, and this is the measure, and we're setting it as fit. But if we go over here into the donut chart, what you'll see is that instead, if we, well, here's the measure and the tooltips, right? So here we are referencing it in our tooltips. But if we go down and we scroll all the way down to the background, right, you'll see right here that it's instead referencing it via a URL, an expression, and then a registered resource. And the registered resource is the SVG itself. And as you can see here, scaling normal. So I am going to go on over right here, and I am going to copy and paste in some code that I have redone right here. So I'm going to go all the way down and just make sure we're capturing all the right brackets. And I'm going to highlight all this from up here. And then I'm going to just paste over here this. So if we delete this out, what you'll see is that I just switched it. So it's now referencing the same kind of measure here, right? So placeholder SVG. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now, because I am in the newest August version of Microsoft Power BI, it recognized that I changed the PBIP files externally, which then means I can go ahead and I can hit apply external changes, and it should pick up on my SVG, only it didn't. So why did it not? Well, it's because I have something over here in the legend. So if I delete this out, category, all of a sudden it renders. And you might be like, well, why is that? Why all of a sudden is it registering? Let me just turn off this center value. And that is because we need to think about the way DAX is working. And let me just switch this off. So popping then over to Excel and hitting this button, let's just kind of quickly visualize this. So if I go over here, right, here we would have an Excel file, which is going to return the measure value that's displayed. So we'll call this measure, and then it'll return the value. And then in the tooltip, it's also returning the SVG image URL. So we'll go SVG. Now, when category is added into this, what it essentially does is it returns category right here, and then it also returns category A and B. And here it returns X and Y, but it still returns the same SVG. And so what we're doing here is we're essentially taking it from a situation where it just expects one image and then is now getting two images because there are two image categories. So jumping then back into Power BI, you might be like, well, how do we solve this? Well, I have created two measures, right? So each one of these will be evaluated independently, which will then keep just one image being returned. And when you add this in, you can then start to see, right? We are now getting to the visual, and we could, kind of tweak this visual to look like the one I just showed you by opening up slices and then spaces and increasing the inner radius so it's nice, small, and then kind of going through and changing the color. Now, I will save this Power BI file on my GitHub for you to download. And with that, you've reached the end of today's video. If you could do me a favor, and if you've made it this far in the video, hopefully you want to do this. But anyway, if you could do me a favor and you could give this video a thumbs up and then subscribe, it would mean a lot. We're really, really close to hitting 8,000 subscribers, which is a pretty big milestone. And I'd love to see that happen before the end of the week. And the majority of you aren't actually subscribed. I think you're just kind of getting this pushed into your feed. So again, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and watch the video YouTube is recommending for you at some point somewhere over here. All right, see you in the next one.